Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from Left Maintenance 47-1. Am I the beehole for telling my mom her wedding anniversary was not the #1 priority for me? My children were. My mom celebrated being 20 years married to her husband John last weekend. They're throwing a party for all their friends and family to celebrate. My family and I were supposed to go, but I had to tell them we wouldn't make it a few days beforehand because 2 of my children were sick. We live in another state, so had to travel to be there. And there was no way that was happening when I had 2 sick kids. My mom told me not to say I wouldn't be there, and to wait to see how things worked that Saturday, because maybe everyone would be all better, and we could still drive out and make it. But the kids were still sick. Our youngest was actually a lot worse, and was hospitalized later that night, while the party was actually going. Thankfully, we got him home Sunday, but it was a lot. My mom called me yesterday and wanted to know why I hadn't found a way to make it work. She told me she would have thought celebrating my parents' 20th year anniversary would have been the #1 priority for me. I told her it wasn't my #1 priority. My kids were. She told me of course she still would imagine I would make it a priority to celebrate my parents' marriage. I told her not under those circumstances. She said celebrating your parents is supposed to be a good thing. I pointed out to her that it was not my parents' anniversary because she never told me her and her dad's wedding anniversary. He was deceased when I was only 6, and that while her husband is a great guy, I get along fine with him. She can't keep acting like her marriage to my dad, and my dad didn't exist. For context, I said this to my mom because after my dad died, when I was 6, she stopped talking about him. She never wanted me to ask about him. And when she got remarried, she wanted me to take her husband's last name and agree to being adopted. She pushed the narrative that he was now my dad, and that it was disrespectful to her husband and the life they were building to mention my dad again. She would talk about her husband being her only love, her true love, how he gave her all her kids. She erased my dad, and she argued with her own family from time to time when they would mention dad. Her family said she and my dad adored each other while he was alive, and they couldn't understand it. My mom's husband honestly didn't care about me talking about my dad, or mom for that matter, but mom refused. She was upset when I chose to use a female version of my dad's name for my daughter. She was upset that my wife and I had a photo of dad at our wedding. She really wants everyone to forget about him and to focus on her current marriage. Anyway, during this disagreement with mom over her anniversary, and after I said that to her, she told me that she has been married for 20 years, and I'm almost 30. So her husband deserves to be acknowledged as my dad, and their marriage is deserving of being a priority for me. She told me she was ashamed of my childish behavior. Am I the beehole? Hi, OP. No, you are not the beehole. Your mom is projecting hard, calling you childish, when you are being a responsible adult and a responsible parent. Yes, your child and your child's health comes before everything. I'm sorry, if I had a kid and they had to be hospitalized, yeah, nothing in the world matters except for my family if something like that happens. And I'm gonna be, freaking out at the hospital. I'm not gonna care about going to your anniversary party for 20 years. I don't know where your mom's coming from. She's crazy. You make sense in this story to me. What a terrible grandma too. Hey, grandma doesn't care about you. She wants us to go to her anniversary party while you stay here in this hospital, scared and alone. Good luck, little Tammy Timmy. Good luck. So no, P, you are not the beehole. Your mom is. Why did they do that? Try to erase your dad. It's your mom's husband is like, yeah, it's cool. You can talk in front of me. That seems like a pretty chill dude. Sounds like she's the only one dealing with this problem. So, P, you are not the beehole. You did the right thing in prioritizing your child and their health. I'm sorry if someone has to be hospitalized. Yeah, your party means nothing. Nothing means birthday party, anniversary party, Christmas party. If one of my children is hospitalized, that's first. Everything comes second after that. Not the beehole. And our next one comes from Own Breadfruit 1514. Am I the beehole for telling my daughter that she can go back to college and will loan the money and not give it to her? We paid for all the kids' college education and have made it externally clear that if she messes up, we will not be giving more money on that. My daughter is our middle child and is 22. She should have graduated, but she flunked out of college and then lied to us about it. She flaked out on her first year, and we only learned the week before she was supposed to go back. We made her get a job at the local store, and she's been paying rent at home. It's $300 a month for everything. We mostly started doing this because she lied again and told us she had a job, then went broke. Anyways, we don't trust her to be responsible on her own. She came to us saying she wanted to go back to college. We made it clear that we will not be paying. She can get loans with interest or get loans from us that have zero interest. It would be in writing, and she would need to pay us back. I also brought up that college would cost more now that she doesn't have scholarships. This started an argument. She is pissed since her siblings are going or went to college without any debt. I made it clear that they didn't mess up and she had the same deal that she threw away. Are we being D's about this? Hi, OP. No, you are not being the beehole about this. Because like you said, she flunked out. I assume she's going to a 4-year. She needs to switch to a 2-year and see if she can get a grant that way and still get her college covered. Now, if I were you guys and she did the whole loan thing, I would make her think that she has to pay it back. Because while I didn't flunk out, I went to 2-year, and yeah, I did fail one class. It was a math class, and I suck at math. But I eventually got past it the next time I took it. So you don't need to be perfect, but yeah, I didn't flunk out. So if I were you guys, if she's smart, I'd take the loan from you guys with zero interest. But after she does that, if she gets her stuff together and she passes, no problem, gets through college, you know what I mean? She gets her stuff right. I wouldn't have her pay back the loan. I'd be like, congrats, you showed me that you can be responsible and get this done, go through college. I'm going to give you a gift. You don't have to pay back this loan. Don't tell her that, but if she does take your loan, think about that in the end. Like, she is your daughter and you want to reward someone who has, seen the error of their ways and gotten their stuff together. So I would take that route. I'm going to say, no, you're not the beehole, because she did F up. And honestly, if I were in your shoes and she effed up and she just straight up told me, I'd be like, you know what? I'm disappointed, but I'm glad you told me. I'm not going to make you pay me back or anything like that. We're going to figure it out. You're going to get it next time. But what made me go 100% on your side is she lied, and then she lied again. So yes, she needs to be taught a lesson. But if she does learn her lesson, don't make her pay it back. If she takes the loan with you. If she takes the loan with someone else where she has to do interest and all that, that's on her. She made that decision. But OP, I'm going to say you're not the beehole. And our next one comes from Antique Duty 9547. Am I the beehole for telling my daughter she is living outside her means and I'm not bailing her out with her credit card debt? My daughter is 24 and living on her own. She has a job that supports her well, but is living beyond her means. I've told her so many times to cut back and to even offer up to help her make a budget plan. Every time she tells me she knows what she's doing. I got a call from her and she has $3,000 in credit debt and was panicking since she didn't have enough to make the minimum payment. She asked me to lend her the money to bail her out. I told her I want to see her transactions of the credit card. I was going to help her if she was doing essential purchases. She wasn't. It was mostly consisted on Amazon shopping, eating out, and clothes stores. Oh, yeah, there you go. That'll do it. I told her I will not bail her out of that debt since she's living beyond her means. I also brought up that she's planning a vacation that she can't afford. Instead, I told her that I'll help her make a budget and it will suck for a few months, but it'll probably fix her debt. She got pissed at me, and this started an argument. I won't bail her out, and she thinks I'm a huge jerk. I told her it's her own fault for living outside her means. And a few sandwiches wouldn't drastically cut down on what she spends. Hi, OP. You are not the beehole. She needs to learn this lesson, and yes, she is living beyond her means. The Amazon purchases, I'm not sure. Maybe there are some essential things in there. I doubt it, but yeah, the eating out, that adds up quick. I learned that lesson back when I first went to college, when I would eat out every day when I, was making money at my first job. And I'm like, oh my God, every time I go to, what was it? The one with the star, Carl's Jr. Every time, no, Carl's Jr. is a weird one. First, it tasted like food to me, and then eventually later on, I started looking at it, and the meat started looking like cardboard. It was weird, so I stopped eating there. I don't eat out too much nowadays. But back to it, yeah, eating out every day like that, even if it's like 10, 20 nowadays, it's really expensive. I think it's like $15 to get like a Big Mac meal at McDonald's, which is ridiculous for McDonald's food. But yeah, eating out every day like that, it's gonna add up. It's gonna add up quick, and I doubt she's going to cheapo, deepo restaurants. It sounds like she's, living beyond her means, so that means she's probably going to nice restaurants. Like, I get it. Every once in a while you want to eat out. I do it once a month, and I don't do it on garbage like McDonald's and stuff like that. I go to a sushi place, get a roll, I'm good. Rolls are pretty expensive. It's like 16 bucks for the one I like. So that could add up if I tried to do that every day, which I wish I could. And then we have the clothing. I doubt she's buying from like a cheap place like I forgot what it was, but my sister buys her dresses at a cheap place, and they look pretty good when you get like a whole box of dresses. But I bet you she's going to those stores. What is it? What stores do people like to go? Sephora? Is that a clothing store? I don't know. I'm a dude. I buy jeans and like a bag of black t-shirts, and I'm good until there's until holes start to appear. So maybe it's different for women. I guess it is. You want to have cute little things, but I doubt she's buying cheap outfits. So I agree with you. She needs to understand that she is living beyond her means. She needs to tighten her belt and get her debt under control. And yeah, you shouldn't bail her out. If you bail her out, she's not going to learn her lesson. She's still going to go on her vacation. She's still going to buy dresses, eat out, and she's just going to do it again. You got to teach her, and this is sorry. You got to give her some hard love. So no, you are not the beehole. And our final one comes from GDaddy3991. Am I the beehole for using TSA Prechecked while my girlfriend went through the regular line? So I, a 31-year-old male, and my girlfriend, a 21-year-old female, recently went on vacation to Paris from NYC. Before the trip, I mentioned to her that I'd pay for the entire trip if she applied for global entry, which includes TSA Precheck. I thought this would be a great way for us to both avoid the long lines at TSA. I even started the application for her. All she had to do was finish it. However, she didn't complete the application. I ended up paying for the whole trip anyway because I was planning to do so regardless. I just wanted to give her an incentive to apply for global entry. When the day of travel arrived, I went through the TSA pre-check line, and she had to go through the regular line for the beginning part of our trip. She was mad at me for this. Am I the beehole for using TSA pre-checked while my girlfriend went through the regular line, even though I had offered her an incentive to pay for global entry? Hi OP, you are not the beehole. You gave her almost all the thing filled out. All she had to do was finish it. You told her about it, you gave her incentive to do it, and she did not do it. That's on her fault, and honestly, that would be a turnoff to me. If she knows she messed up and she's over here pouting and having a little kid tantrum because you went through the line when you gave her the option to do the same thing. I don't know about like ending the relationship, but that would be a huge turnoff slash red flag to me. But OP, you are not the beehole. You could lead a horse to water, but you can't make a drink, OP. And that's what you did. You took the horse to the water, you pushed the head down in the lake, and she still wouldn't drink. So, no, she did this to herself. OP, not the beehole. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning? And like, comment, and subscribe. It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.